Hello, it's Diana Marchand from dianamarchand.com, and welcome to this video. I'm going to do an actual recipe video. This is going to be some oatmeal breakfast bars. Have I made them before? Kind of something, but I'm doing something a little different. So this is going to be a measure as we go. This is how I do things. Okay, usually I don't measure, but today I'm going to try to do some measuring for you so you can get down the recipe. Now what I did in here in my NutriBullet is I just ground 2/3 cup muesli. I have this muesli here. See, you can buy in the bulk section in a grocery store, health food store, whatever. It's got like pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, oats, some raisins in here. And also chopped dates. I would love to add some dates. I forgot to buy them. So medjool dates would be fantastic in this. Highly recommend that. So that is 2/3. I put 2/3 of muesli in here, ground it up. Okay, then I have some ground flax, and I always keep some ground flax in the freezer. I grind it myself, so I'm going to use a quarter cup ground flax. Where does he make it up? Now, I have quite a few things here. I have some coconut, like chunks or chips, so we're going to put that in there. I'm going to use, my half cupper is with bananas, so I can't do that. Frozen bananas, you guys, I would suggest you use fresh. So this is a 1/3 cup. That's why I'm using my 1/3 cup. 1/3 cup of coconut. Might add a bit more than that. And then I'm going to add 1/4 cup some sesame seeds. 1/4 cup. Now basically, I always have nuts and seeds in the freezer, so it's not like I had to go out and buy all this stuff. I kind of collect it over time and always have some in the freezer. Here is my walnuts. So now what I am going to do is measure out a heaping 1/3 cup of all walnuts, maybe a little more. And I'm just going to lightly chop them. That is some chopped walnuts. I also have some pecans here, so I'm just going to take a little handful, maybe 1/4 cup. I don't have a lot of pecans. I prefer pecans, but sunflower seeds. We're going to use a 1/4 cup sunflower seeds. If I had pumpkin seeds, I would use some, but I'm out right now. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup more of the coconut, because I really like the coconut. Maybe a heaping. Then I have some almonds. So I probably only have about a 1/4 cup of almonds here, and I'm going to lightly chop the almonds too, maybe less than a 1/4. Okay, I chopped the almonds, they're in there. Now what we're going to add is we're going to add some of the actual muesli. So as you can see, the bowl's already getting pretty full with all the mixed nuts and seeds, and you can add pretty much anything, any nuts and seeds that you like to use. Now, what's this, a 1/4 cup? 1/3 cup. Half cup muesli. Let's see how big this is. I want to make kind of a smaller batch because I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, right? Okay, so there it is, all mixed up. Now for the wet ingredients. The wet ingredients, we have banana mashed. I may not have quite a whole banana, but I use frozen. But use 1 full banana, mash it ripe, or use some frozen ones. Just put a bit of hot water in them. Let them. That's what I did. Let them thaw. Okay, I have my banana. Then we are going to use, now you could use just 1, or if you don't want to use eggs, make a flax egg, with like a tablespoon of flax, 2 tablespoons of water, something like that. Banana, egg. And then I'm going to use some almond milk. When I bake, I like to use the bought-in almond milk. I find that the homemade almond milk is just not creamy. It just doesn't work as well. So for that amount, I'm trying to see. I'm going to start with, this is 1 cupper. So that's a 1/2 cup of milk. Now I might need more. It is hard when I'm just trying out a recipe. I'm not sure, right? So that's the trick. Then we're gonna add some coconut oil for kind of like the fat in it. Oh yeah, a bit of salt, pinch of salt in the dry ingredients. Pinch of salt and some cinnamon. I love cinnamon in my any type of bars or granola. Cinnamon. I softened some coconut oil. See, it's in a little container here. Put it in a hot bath of hot water in a bowl. So I have some softened coconut oil here. 1, whoops. 2, 3 tablespoons. 1 more. I'm going to use actually 4 tablespoons coconut oil. Just because usually in these kind of bars, they tend to use a lot of butter or something. So we're not using that. So coconut oil. Okay, so I have my dry mixture. Mix it into the, mix the wet into the dry. Then we'll see how we do here. Now, of course, if this is too wet, all I have to do is add in some more muesli. Super fast and easy, right? Yep, it is a bit wet, so that's okay. We'll just add in some more. Well, maybe we'll see once I actually mix it. Honey. Forgot the honey. That's what happens. Okay, so for this amount, I would say probably going to take about a 1/4 cup of honey for sure. So that's 4 tablespoons. You can use maple syrup. You could use some raw sugar if you have some coconut sugar, something that you want to do. That's 2 tablespoons. I'm going to try 3 to start, okay? And then I'll see, and I find liquid honey, it's not raw, but I buy liquid honey sometimes for recipes and for making things where I need to mix it in and it's going to mix nicely, or you could just melt. If you have some raw honey, I know it's not raw anymore, but you're going to bake this anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? It was still a bit wet, so I'm going, this is a 1/2 cup. I'm going to just see how much I need to add in so that this may actually be a little thin, but you know what? I'm going to try to bake it like this and see how it turns out. Might turn out great. Maybe next time I'll go, I needed to add more. So this is, although it looks quite thick, there's the consistency. And now what we do is line, you can use a baking dish or whatever. I have a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, and we're going to put it in at about 350. I'm going to see if that's a little too hot or not. The recipe will be at the end of this video. Okay, so here's the mixture on the parchment paper and the cookie sheet. Now I'm just going to spread it. A trick, I don't have a spatula, is just wet your spatula so that it doesn't stick, and then just spread it onto the cookie sheet, parchment paper, baking dish, whatever you're putting it in. Now you can make this as thick or thin as you want. Of course, not too thin. And if you make it too thick, remember that the middle might not cook as well. When you're using a cookie sheet, the outside always cooks faster. Sometimes I cut away the outsides, recook the inside because I like it crunchy. Okay? Okay, here is what they look like so far on the baking dish. And then I'm just going to put it in the oven and I'll show you what they're like after. Hello. Well, I finished these bars and it looks like they turned out really good. So the recipe will be at the end of the video and on my blog and site, dianamarchand.com, when I post it. And it will also be on my Women Creating Healthy Lives with Passion and Purpose Facebook page. Make sure to join that group because I post tons of things on it. I post a lot of how-tos. I post a lot of videos, motivational tips, tricks for eating healthy, living healthy, especially over 40, the age of 40, for women over 40. And these baked for about 37 minutes or something like that. You could, 35 minutes would be great at 350, but it depends on your oven, so always check them. Okay, oh, I didn't show you them yet. I will be cutting them up. Here it is right there. I'm going to cut it up in 2 bars and then I'll freeze them and then have them whenever I go to a coffee shop or whenever I want something to eat. Remember, always have your green smoothies first though. Always have green smoothies in the morning no matter what, okay? Hot water and lemon and green smoothies. Take care. Bye.